Don't get me wrong though. Adult also experience the same thing. It's not just like a young kids who experience this kind of problem. Also, adult are more likely. Adult also develop that kind of problem. Face this kind of reality. But the difference between adult and a young kid or a child, adults are more likely to develop what you call a shield of protection better than better than the youth because of life experience. You know, people who's already in the 40s and the 30s have more experience than a child, you know, that's only 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, 18. You know, you've seen a lot more in life than these kids because there's things they have not experienced yet. And when they face this kind of reality, they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to control themselves. They don't know who to talk. And sometimes they go silent. You know, sometimes they don't have a friend to talk to. They just go silence. You know, and they kind of like isolate themselves. They don't talk to people. They stay in the room. They don't want to be part of the outside world because of this kind of issue. So you're not alone. There's millions of people dealing with the same kind of reality. And that's exactly our topic today, our subject today. Silence is not fear. The kids, they're not open to talk about what they experience inside of their home, in school. You know, they kind of holding it inside. You know, sometimes you can put pressure on a kid and say, what exactly happened? What's wrong with you? You went to school very happy and you come back home and your face changed and you don't seem too happy. What's going on? What happened in school? And sometimes it's this kind of issue or problem they experience in school with other kids. And, you know, they feel like the best way to control themselves is to go silence. Not talking about the reality. And sometimes it's good to go silence. Yes. And sometimes it's also good to face the reality you want. Because remember, I don't wanna jump to what we're gonna be talking. So either way, there's a consequence. You don't have to trust everyone. You don't even have to trust most people. But you also don't have to live behind a wall built from someone else's failure. You can protect yourself and stay open to the possibility of real connection. Slowly, carefully, and on your own term. You may want to rebuild trust, or if you feel safer staying close for now, that's fine. You may ask yourself, and I know a lot of us ask that question, would people take my kindness for fear to disrespect me? A lot of us ask this question. I ask that question myself. You know, either you go to work, either you go to church, or you go to you are around your friend, you know, your family, or some kind of you went to some kind of adventure, wherever you are, and you face this kind of reality. The first question that you ask yourself, because you stay who you are, you don't try to transition yourself based on these people's behavior. You try to remain calm. You try to remain silent. But at the same time, you feel hurt. At the same time, feel abused mentally. and you don't want to talk about it, and you went to silence completely. We all ask that question. When I give respect to people, I treat every single person with respect. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you went to school, if you never go to school. It doesn't matter. Everyone deserves the same respect.